Well, by my accurate Apple product here, it is 7:30 in the East Coast, which makes it 6:30 in Chicagoland. And so I'm going to ask everyone to mute, please. Um, or Erin maybe can help us with that, or one of our ushers or greeters. Welcome to Shabbat Services at Congregation Eitz Chaim online. I'm Marla Aviva Bentley, the Director of Lifelong Learning, and it's my honor to lead us in this last Shabbat in the English month of December. It is the third Shabbat in the month of Tevet. And I'm going to encourage you, as we are here in Zoom land, to sing out and to sing loud. I've tried to choose prayer settings that will be, I hope, very familiar and comfortable with everyone, so that you can sing out loud in your living rooms or dining rooms or wherever you're Zooming in from, and sing to your heart's content. And if for some reason you lose the visual, or if you prefer to have a second device and would like to be able to see this slide, I'm going to place that. Oh, that is not what I'm going to do. No, 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 no. I'm not sure what I just did. Well, I was going to try to place it in the chat, but I'm thinking no, because that seems scary at this moment. I think the link will change. Anyhow, Aaron will place the link in the chat if he's able to. And I invite you to join me now in singing Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim. How wonderful it is, how beautiful it is that we can come together, both physically and in online spaces. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Again, welcome, Shabbat Shalom. It's so nice to be all together. Now, I'm going to invite you, if you have candles, you don't have to, but if you happen to have candles nearby and would like to participate in a communal candle lighting, I'm going to give you a chance to get yourself set up. And first, why don't we read together the introduction? As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of all the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. And I invite you to join me now in lighting your candles, or if you already have your candles lit, we will share in the warmth of the blessing and the light together. Won't you join me? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat. Good Shabbos, everyone. Now, with the light of Shabbat amongst us, We welcome in the joy of Shabbos light, singing together Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Tzitchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Now that we have welcomed the spirit of Shabbat in, we sing together Lecha Dodi. Yalalalai Lecha Dodi, Yalalalai Likrat Kala, Yalalalai Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nekabla. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmi'anu el hamyuchad Adonai echad U'shemo echad Leshem u'tiferet v'litchila Yailai Yalalalai lecha dodi Yalalalai likrat kala Yalalalai pnei Shabbat Pnei Shabbat nekabla. If it's your custom, I invite you now to rise with me and face the entrance of your home or the entrance of the room as together we welcome the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom, ateret ba'ala. גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, יאללה, יאללה, לך דודי, יאללה, לקראת כלה, יאללה, פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. I invite you may be seated, or if you so choose, you may continue to stand as we go on now with the call to worship with Baruch Hu. Yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai. Baruch hu et Adonai, Hamivorach. Baruch Adonai, Hamivorach, Hamivorach, Leolam Vaed. Hamivorach, Hamivorach, Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. Let's continue on in Hebrew together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uven layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Let's read together. God, you gave us the Torah to show that you love us. May it always be a friend at our side. The Torah is our teacher. It tells us what is right and what is wrong. It shows us how to live good lives. Be with us always when we study Torah. Be with us always as we try to live good lives. We praise you, eternal God, who gave the Jewish people the Torah. It is your special gift to us. It is your gift of love. Now, if you so choose, again, please feel free to rise as we recite the Shema together. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed. Please be seated. Let's continue together. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי Vitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiyot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. Let's read responsively. How do we love God together? We love God when we do good deeds each day. Help us, God, to show you our love in every way. How do we love God with all our hearts? We love God with all our hearts when we love other people. Help us, God, to respect everyone, to speak kind words, to listen well. How do we love God with all our minds? When we love God with all our minds, when we study Torah, help us, God, to learn your Torah. How do we love God with all our strength? We love God when we share what we have. Helping others is the way we love God with all our strength. Help us, God, to be people who give tzedakah. Eternal our God, we want to show you we love you through all our deeds. Make our love make the world a better place, the kind of world you meant it to be when you created us. Let's sing together. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar bakodesh, mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar bakodesh. Nora tehilot osef ele, Nora tehilot osef ele, Adonai yimloch leolam vaed. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam, ze Elianu ve'amru, ze Elianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch leolam vaed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar bakodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar bakodesh. Nora tehilot osef ele, Nora tehilot osef ele, Adonai yimloch leolam vaed. ונאמר כי פד אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. You are with us at all times, God, when we sleep and when we wake. When it is dark, we turn to you for light. When we are afraid, we turn to you for courage. When we feel weak, we turn to you for strength. Be with us tonight and always. Help us to know you are there together. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. I can almost hear you from here. At least I can see you all singing with me, so I'm imagining how beautiful our kahal sounds. We will turn now to the Amidah, or the Tefillah, and if you would like to do so, I invite you to rise as we begin together. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor leolam Adonai, mechayeh metim ata rav lehoshia, mashiv haruach umorid hagashem. Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechaye metim berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofe cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishene afar, michamocha bal gevurot, umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, ונאמנת להחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך הקדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. When you are ready, please be seated. God of goodness, we give thanks together for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulcha na'eh lehodot. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon, v'chol hashalom. Ki ata melech Adon, v'chol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'cholit uv'chosha b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. I invite you now to take a few minutes to yourself, a minute of private prayer, and then we'll come back in just a moment. Ve'gyon ליבי לפניך, יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי, יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי, אדוני צורי, Adonai tzuri v'goali. Go inside your heart, just be. Go inside your heart and see what it wants, what it needs, what it yearns. When you breathe, go inside your heart and see. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be kind, be true. May they be acceptable to you, O my rock and my redeemer. We take a moment now to think about those in our congregation who are in need of a prayer of healing. Pardon me. No, stop video, stop share. This week, we are thinking of, in particular, Rabbi Bruce Goldwasser, Rabbi Fred Wanger, Leonard Schutzman, Frederick Bryan, please pardon me, Sonia Maria Reimar Miller, Albert Miller, Carol Pretnar, Gloria Widehorn, Rachel Basio, Alexander Yonitsievitz, Holly Erickson, Denise Fleischer, Cheryl Harris, Munson Lyons, Cindy Viano, Sheila Alterman, Sammy Adam, Aziz Amusa, Sarabel Stoll, Paul Alterman, Amanda Stephen, and Hazel Dela Cruz, Sarah Vared Bat Shoshana, Donald Guy, Roy Warshawski, and all those who suffer, whom we know not by name. Mishaberach Avotenu ve'imotenu Avraham Yitzchak ve'Yaakov ve'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel ve'Leah hu yivarech ve'yirafeh et kol cholei Yisrael v'yishlach lahem bimhera refuah shlema refuat hanefesh u'refuat haguf v'nomar amen. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all who are stricken. May the Holy One of Praise mercifully restore them to health and to vigor. May God grant them health of body, health of spirit, and of mind. And together we say, Amen. We will sing Mishaberach now together. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor Bracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor bracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We take a moment now to pray for our country, for those still held captive, and for the state of Israel. Is there someone who would like to, I will make this much bigger. Is there someone who would like to read the prayer for our country? Would anyone like to just unmute, perhaps, and read? Patricia, please.
O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Patricia. Would someone now like to read the prayer for Israel, either in Hebrew? I will try to, sorry, you're blocking. I mean, I'm going to move you. So if there's someone who would like to read either in Hebrew or English, depending on how it is on your
O
screen.
Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all those who dwell there. Amen.
Thank you, Len. And a prayer for the redemption of captives by Rabbi Sabath Beit Halachmi. Our God, the one who raised Joseph up from the pit, be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Send complete rescue and full redemption to those held captive by the enemy. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers that they may be protected from all harm. Implant understanding in the heart of the enemy that they may return the captives in wholeness of body and spirit. Grant wisdom to the Israel Defense Forces that they may secure freedom for the captives without loss of life. Grant strength of spirit and courage of heart to all the sons and daughters of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar, to release the bonds of captivity and allow us all to live in freedom. They shall call upon me, and I will answer them. I will be with them in distress. I will rescue them and honor them. And together we say, Amen. Okay. Now, I'm going to share with you a text study that I hope you will all be able to see. And I will try to make it bigger. Let's see here. Okay. Can you all see at least the first part of the text study that says Genesis 48, verses 3 and 4? Okay, so this week our Torah portion is Vayechi, and Vayechi actually means and he lived, and we're talking about Jacob, although in this portion, Jacob will die. Sometimes that happens with the Torah portions. Actually, we see just before this in chapter 47 at the beginning of the beginning of the reading that Jacob calls to Joseph and basically says, I need you to promise me that when I die, you're going to take my remains back to Eretz Canaan, back to Machpelah. But I thought it actually might be interesting to study a few verses. We're going to study a couple of verses from the beginning, middle, and end of chapter 48. By the way, this is the last Torah portion in the book of Bereshit. So next week, when we return back in person at Chaim, we will take out Exodus. That will be very interesting. We'll continue on with the Exodus story. But for now, we're still with the cast of characters of Jacob, Joseph, Joseph's sons, and the rest of Joseph's brothers. So if anyone would feel comfortable to read in English out loud, would someone mind reading verse 3 and then verse 4? Please, don't be shy.
And Jacob said to Joseph, El Shaddai, who appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan, bless me, and said to me, I will make you fertile and numerous, making of you a community of peoples, and I will assign this land to your offspring to come for an everlasting possession.
Thanks. So we begin by Jacob calling Joseph and saying, you have to make me this promise. The end is near. Why do you think that then Jacob goes on to say to Joseph, at this moment, why do you think, number one, Jacob is saying, El Shaddai, who appeared to me in the land of Luz, at Luz, in the land of Canaan? Why do you think Jacob begins there? And you can just unmute. There's no faux pas. It's okay. If we talk over ourselves, no problem. But feel free to unmute. Why start there, do we think? Why does Jacob feel the need to tell Joseph the timeline here, or who in the timeline? And there are no weird answers. It's really all right.
Do you suppose he was quoting someone to show there was authority with what he was about to say?
Sure, perhaps it could be about, like, if you're saying El Shaddai, which is another name for God. If we're saying, if Jacob's saying to Joseph, look, God who appeared to me in the land of Eretz Canaan blessed me. Sure, that could be establishing authority. What are some other possibilities? Perhaps perhaps Jacob wanted to remind Joseph that there's a physical connection, not just maybe what do I mean by a physical connection? That perhaps first of all, that there'd be a physical connection in the blessing that God gave to Jacob, that perhaps Jacob is now going to pass on, especially as Jacob is knowing that he's going to die soon. Or perhaps a third possibility is that there could be authority, there could be a physical connection, there could be a sense that when the end is near, Jacob is it's like the last things you want to say to someone before you go. And so maybe a third option is to say, I need to say exactly what I need to tell you, because you weren't there, exactly what God told me in this moment, right? And what does God say to Jacob? God says, I will make you fertile and numerous, making of you a community of peoples. And I will assign this land to your offspring to come for an everlasting possession. So what is this blessing? What is this blessing that Jacob is sharing with Joseph right now that God said? What are we talking about exactly when God says, I will make you fertile and numerous? What do we think God means here in this moment?
That the community will go on growing.
Sure, that maybe the line won't stop there, right? That God is saying here and now to Jacob, the line will keep going. Absolutely. And then reiterating that with making you a community of peoples. Absolutely. And then I will assign this land to your offspring to come for an everlasting possession. What land do we think we're talking about? There are several teachers in this room. What land could we be talking about, maybe, as a guess?
Is it Israel?
You got it. You got it. So here we're talking about Israel as we know today, or back in the day, we called it the land of Canaan, Eretz Canaan, or Canaan, or however you choose to pronounce the Hebrew, it is all good. But yes, so we're talking about the land of Canaan, or Canaan, Eretz Canaan. And when Jacob is sharing this with Joseph, perhaps a fourth possibility of why he might be sharing these specific words is we hear some things that should pop in our mind when God is saying to Jacob, I will make you fertile and numerous, making you a community of peoples, and I will give this land for all of those people to come as an everlasting possession. Jacob is connecting the covenant, the brit, the covenant, to Joseph. This is important because it's not as if Joseph, who has of course been living in Egypt and living he's had a really exciting life if you've watched the movie or read in previous episodes of this week's chapter. Joseph's led a very exciting life. He had that coat of many colors. He could interpret dreams. His brothers threw him into a pit. And then, of course, he gets shipped off to Egypt. And, he makes his way up because he's an interpreter of dreams through the government, eventually working for Pharaoh and saving the land. That's a sort of recap from previous week's installments. But Joseph has sort of also been removed from the family, though. He has not been with his brothers, living and growing up with his brothers like the rest of them, and only reunited more recently with Jacob. So Jacob is in this moment saying to him, don't forget, this here in this moment is a connection to our people. This is a connection to the covenant. The covenant doesn't stop with me. It doesn't even stop with you. It keeps going. All right, let's hold on to that thought for a moment to come to the next set of blessings. would someone now like to read the next? So we're skipping ahead just a few verses. Would someone now like to read in English verses 14, 15, and 16?
But Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it on Ephraim's head, though he was the younger, and his left hand on Manasseh's head, thus crossing his hands, although Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph, saying, the God in whose ways my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who has been my shepherd from my birth to this day, the messenger who has redeemed me from all harm, bless the lads. In them may my name be recalled, and the names of my father Abraham and Isaac, and may they be teeming multitudes upon the earth.
Thank you, Rachel. So Israel here, in this case, is not the land, but Jacob's new name. So we read several weeks ago about Yaakov becoming Yisrael after he has perhaps a dream, struggling with the messengers of God, going up and down the ladder. Yaakov becomes Yisrael. So in this moment, this is another name, for Jacob here. So is Jacob now blessing Joseph? No. Although it does say here that he is blessed Joseph, but he is blessing Joseph through Joseph's sons. So instead of just, he could have, and in that moment, right, placed his hand upon Joseph and continued the blessing. But instead he says, no, I'm going to take your sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, and I'm going to take them as my own. And then he does something kind of bizarre. He crosses his hands over. Now, the Torah does not like coincidences. Does anyone, and the Torah makes a point here in some in-between verses and saying, wait, why are you're blessing the wrong one? Why are you switching the younger for the older? Why are you switching the blessings? Does anyone recall another time, maybe a few weeks ago, when a blessing got switched? There's a reason the Torah is asking us to sort of like make a little ping here of what happened. When earlier in the storyline does a blessing get switched? And it's okay if you don't remember. I can give you some hints.
Between Jacob and between Esau and Jacob, right?
Exactly. So in Jacob's life, he went to his father, Isaac. Jacob, of course, was the younger brother. That's his name, Akev, meaning from the heel. He was the younger twin. He literally came out on the heel of his brother. And in Jacob's life, remember there was the whole, his brother Esau had come in from the field, and Jacob sort of says, oh, here I've prepared this food. And so there was a little bit of a switching out, and of course, Isaac's eyes had become very dim. And so Isaac thinks he's blessing his firstborn Esau, but no, he's actually blessing Jacob. So there is a little bit of the Torah in many ways might be reminding us of that moment in time, because here is something, again, we don't quite expect, where the younger and the older are going to be swapped out, and we learn in some of the in-between verses that both Manasseh and Ephraim are going to be fruitful and multiply. They're both going to lead wonderful big lives, but the younger will actually lead even a larger life and will get sort of a greater portion. Now, here is the second set of blessings. So Israel is now blessing Joseph through his sons and blessing the sons directly. And what does he say? He says, the God in whose ways my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, walked. So first, just like he did with Joseph, he's calling back to his forefathers. maybe again, trying to strengthen that familial connection to say, this blessing, I'm giving it, but maybe it's coming through me, and we have to stretch back to our forefathers, kind of like when we say the Avot ve'imahot, and we specifically say Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, the God of, the God of. Not just Elohei Avraham, Yitzchak, ve'Yaakov, but each time recalling in Avot ve'imahot that God had a special and unique relationship with each of these people, but that there is a continuation with what God promised Abraham, and that continues on down the line. That is the brit, or the covenant. So we make a connection back to family, and then the God who has been my shepherd from birth to this day, the messenger who has redeemed me from all harm. And we can think back again, Jacob in his life had experienced several times where God had physically redeemed him. When he meets up with his brother later in life, his brother could have destroyed him. He could have been angry at the stealing of the birthright, but instead they make peace together. So this is a pretty powerful blessing we have. And Jacob says, in them may my name be recalled, and the names of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, and may they be teeming multitudes upon the earth. So what is this last blessing? What is Jacob hoping to pass on to Joseph, Ephraim, and Manasseh in this moment? Please, David, go ahead. You don't have to raise your hand. Or, sorry, did someone else? What do we think this blessing is about? In addition to anchoring us with our ancestors, what is this idea of being teeming multitudes?
This is basically like perpetuating the culture, like the lineage, the heritage, essentially for, generations and generations further on.
Absolutely, Sam. Absolutely. Perpetuating the faith, the culture, the history, and hoping perhaps that many generations will come afterwards. That if we see many generations coming afterwards, it might be one way we know the covenant is fulfilled. Okay, and our last reading, would anyone now like to read the last blessing?
But his father objected, saying, I know my son, I know. He too shall become a people, and he too shall be great. Yet his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his offspring shall be plentiful enough for nations. So he blessed them that day, saying, by you shall Israel invoke blessings, saying, God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh. Thus he put Ephraim before Manasseh. Then Israel said to Joseph, I am about to die, but God will be with you and bring you back to the land of your ancestors.
Thanks, Sam. So this is an interesting last blessing. What do we think it means? May you be like Ephraim and Manasseh. What are some possibilities?
I might be wrong, but my thinking is Ephraim and Manasseh, didn't they grow up in Egypt, but they preserve the faith?
Mm-hmm. That is correct. Patricia, can I then infer from that that you're saying perhaps that one blessing that they might take is that they can hold a strong faith, even being away from home?
Yeah. Mhm.
Sure. What else? What is another blessing? By the way, if this seems familiar, it's because this is the prelude to every time we bless our children on Shabbat. We ask that they be like Ephraim and Manasseh before we bless them. So what do we think it means? And it's important enough that we say it every Shabbat. If you have children or their children near you, why would we ask them to be like Ephraim and Manasseh? Please.
I think this is the first time that two brothers didn't fight, two siblings didn't fight. They got along really well. Versus throughout the beginning of the Torah portion, we have all these sibling rivalries, right? Cain and Abel, Jacob and Esau. I'm trying to think who else.
Steve, that's very insightful. And Joseph and all his brothers too,
Oh,
Joseph's
oh.
own experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Steve, that's
course.
very insightful that perhaps they would be friendly to one another. They would support one another, not in competition with one another, but rather a partner, a support. That's a lovely insight, Steve.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Well, perhaps, we don't always know. This is our own interpretation, but perhaps in making this particular blessing, maybe Jacob thought about the continuity like we talked about. Maybe he thought about continuation. Maybe he thought about the brit, the covenant sustaining on from the next generation to the next and the next. Maybe it was about brotherly love. Maybe it was about knowing and being connected back to your parents. Maybe it was about that your children should have an even better life than you did before you. Anyhow, thank you for a lovely Torah study. We will now pause for some announcements. I'm going to stop sharing.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Karen Butterfield with some announcements on behalf of the board. Thank you to Len and Sam for helping with the service tonight and saying hello to everyone as they arrived. There is no Torah study tomorrow. The office will continue to be closed until Tuesday, January 2nd. Rabbi Kaznowski returns from sabbatical next coming Friday, January 5th. Next Friday, January 5th, we will be having Humanist Shabbat Services, where we will focus on the peace and love of Shabbat without directly invoking God by name. This provocative experience is sure to open up a dialogue for those who seek a service that provides a culturally Jewish experience. Warm up with us on January 12th for our first Soup Shabbat of 2024. On January 14th, we will be celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Day with a visit from Stacy Walker of DuPage United, who will share her experiences in community organizing with us. For more information on upcoming events, check out our weekly happenings email. Thank you for joining us digitally this evening, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Karen. Shabbat Shalom. We will now begin to conclude our service. Bring back our Aleinu, and I invite you to rise if you so choose. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpechot ha'adama, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. You may be seated. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. We take a moment now to acknowledge those who are experiencing a yortzeit during this time, whether you are in Shiva or a period of Shloshim, or you are observing the anniversary of your loved one. This week, our hearts and thoughts turn to the families of William Goldstein, father of Howard Goldstein, Bernard Landau, father-in-law of Eileen Landau, grandfather of Susan Landau Van Dyke, Ida Turner, mother of Mark and Leslie Turner, Myra Turner Dunn, sister of Mark and Leslie Turner, Lester Margulis, father of Perry Margulis, Eugene Fingert, father of Nadine Gilbert, Lee Schwartz, father of Linda Pfeffer, Ida Cassie, great-grandmother of Michelle Slogoff, Levi Yitzchak Ben David, father of Esther Winograd, Natalie Jakowitz, mother-in-law of Joel Bernstein, Mildred Friedman, grandmother of Susan Rothschild, Edward Headington, uncle of Maureen Headington, Sam Meyer, father of Howard Meyer, Nathan Harris, father of Alan Harris, Myron Siegel, father of David Siegel, Helene Shaliff, grandmother of Bonnie Madison, Charlotte Nortel, aunt of Toby Weber, Idris Swanson, mother of David Swanson, Louis Orson, grandfather of Kathy Bender, Florence Trofimo, mother of Jordan Trofimo, grandmother of Janet Widmeyer, Adelia Kaplan, mother of Robert Kaplan, Harris Dicker, father of Leah Notaris, stepfather of Elise Sirabasi, Ella Stern, grandmother of Elise Sirabasi, Rosalind Casper Wolski, mother of Alan Wolski, Max Alvarado, father of Patricia Rosamond, Morton Balin, father of Ronnie Markwell, Mary Oslak, grandmother of Rebecca Miller, Thomas Goldstick, stepfather of Neil Stern, Trudy Cooper, mother of Peter Cooper, Ida Victor, aunt of Stephen Levin, Marilyn Levy, mother of Karen Butterfield, Michael Silver, husband of Lori Silver, Anthony Ivanelli, father of Stephen Ivanelli, Al Wexler, Murray Spurkle, and we mourn the recent passing of Rabbi David Allenson. Together now, as one community, we rise and join in Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal, v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei, ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mavarach le'alam ulmei almaya. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומן ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. ואמרו, ואמרו, ואמרו אמן. ואמרו, ואמרו, ואמרו amen. Let us join now together in Kiddush and Motzi. I invite you to raise your Kiddush cup if you should have one. Vahiver, vahivoker yom hashishi, vayichulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'kol tzva'am, vayichal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa, vayishbot b'yom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa, vayivarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i v'yikadesh oto, ki vo shavat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Baruch ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lemase bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim, ki vanu vacharta veotanu kidashta mikol hamim, veshabat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai mekadosh HaShabbat. And now we'll join together. I'm going to bring the challah around. We'll join together in the Motzi. That's the next page. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'tei avon. B'tei avon, everyone. On behalf of Rabbi Kaznowski, Rabbi Weiner, Aaron, and myself, we wish you a very happy and healthy 2024. We look forward to seeing you next week for Shabbat and in the coming weeks. And I hope that as your Shabbat continues, you too experience the blessings of Ephraim and Manasseh, blessings of connectivity, blessings of family and friends, of heritage, blessings of longevity. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.